G'day guys, Fitcho here, and welcome back to another Classic Cars video here on F1 2018, and today we are driving the Lotus 79 from 1978, the first ground effect car in Formula 1. Well, the first car to properly make use of ground effect in Formula 1. The Lotus 78, the predecessor to this car, did use ground effect to some extent, but they didn't actually perfect it, and they refined the issues from the 78 on the 79 to make what is commonly considered the first ground effect car in Formula 1. Now, if you don't know about ground effect, it is essentially making a vacuum seal using a Venturi effect under the car to suck the car down onto the ground and produce a lot of grip. But there is one big side effect to running ground effect. If you break that seal, that vacuum seal under the car, you lose all the downforce there is instantly. Like, if that can come from a little bump, or even just using a little bit too much curb, get that side of the car up off the ground a bit using a curb, break that seal, and all your downforce is gone. So while you can make a very, very quick race car using ground effect, it can very easily come unstuck and cause some very, very big crashes. Now, this is also the car that took Mario Andretti to his one and only World Championship, which is also the last World Championship and the last race ever won by an American in Formula 1, which is absolutely crazy. America, such a big country, haven't won a race or won a championship since the late 70s. Now, today, we're going to be driving this at the Hockenheim ring, because this was the second last race won by an American in Formula 1. The last one was at Zandvoort, which we unfortunately don't have in the game. Now, before we do head to the track, make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you guys are new for much more F1 2018 content, including the classic cars stuff, and make sure you do also put those notifications on. Here we go, on track with the first ground effect car in Formula 1. What gear are we starting? And we are in third gear, so let's now put it into fourth. Just working out which gate to chuck it in when it drops you in time trial. But here we go, through the final corner, ready to start our lap. I'm intrigued to see how Codemasters have set up this car with the ground effect, how well they have actually modeled how that drives and stuff. It'll be interesting to see. I doubt they've probably done it all that well. I assume it will just be the same as all the other cars, unfortunately. But down into turn number 2, a little bit deep, just learning this car and track. It feels a bit more planted than the 76 cars that I've been driving over the last couple of days. Does this thing have 6 gears? No, it doesn't. Just the standard 5 box that you usually got in the 70s. Up to the hairpin, hard on the brakes, back down through the gears into first gear, and now on to the power, the back end stepping out just a little bit, but nothing too drastic so far as we head through this kink, now down to this tricky right hander. We get the car stopped, turned into the apex quite nicely, the back end coming around now through this right hand. This does actually have a fair bit of grip. I can definitely feel more grip in this car than I would say I did in the 76 cars. I can feel that Codemasters have at least increased the level of downforce in this car. They may not have modeled how it's actually come through and how that drives with the ground effect, but they've definitely upped the downforce in this car a fair bit from the 76 cars, I do think. And around the final corner to end our first lap in the Lotus 79, and now I am going to shut up. Oh, that's actually fine to gear. There we go. One problem with driving the H pattern on this game, the clutch isn't that good, and I find a lot of time I don't actually get it into gear. A problem I don't usually have when I'm driving a H pattern on other games, and I put that down mostly to the slightly dodgy clutch. But anyway, I'm going to shut up, work out how to drive this car properly at this track, and give you guys a nice uncommentated hot lap. And that is a lap of the Hockenheim ring in the Lotus 79. Obviously not the same version of the Hockenheim ring that Mario Andretti would have won on back in 1978. Would have gone straight on there, back off through the forest. Instead, we're heading onto the new part of the circuit. We have to make do with what we do have on F1 2018. But classic tracks is something I'd love to see Codemasters bring into the game. They've done classic cars. Now it'd be great if they did some classic tracks. Now I think about it. But that's going to do it for this video. Next up, we head to the very next season, 1979, where I believe Jody Schechter's Ferrari is waiting for us. But that video should be out very, very soon. My career mode is starting this Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT plus 10. That's about 10 a.m. UK time. I'm very, very excited to finally dive into career mode and start making some content on the actual 2018 cars. I am loving the classic cars, but I also do quite enjoy the 2018 cars as well. They're a completely different beast to drive with the flat pedal gearbox and just the insane amount of grip and downforce. Oh, that's leave it in gear. I went to rest my hand on the shifter and knocked it out of gear. But that's going to do it for this video today, guys. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you do leave a like. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.